Hello fellow orchid lovers, it's Danielle here with an update on the orchids. So in the last video that I posted, I let you guys know that I had encountered quite a substantial spider mite problem. And as you can imagine, I've been rather busy trying to eradicate the little beasts. It's amazing how much work, even a small collection like mine, how much work it is to treat each plant. Because it's more than one treatment, as you all know. You don't get rid of them the first time, you got to keep treating. So we're done with the first leg of our treatments, and in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, I'm gonna do another routine of treatments, a couple of treatments to make sure that I did completely get rid of them. But a lot of you were wondering how the orchids have fared since the treatments, and I haven't given you an update in a while. So I'm gonna roll the two of those together. I'm just gonna kind of pan throughout the room and show you what's going on, good, bad, or indifferent. I do have 22 Phalaenopsis in spike right now. Some of them have started opening their blooms. I do want to do like a Phalaenopsis spotlight once all of the spikes are open. But some of them are a little farther behind than others, so it's probably going to be several weeks before they're all going to be open. But they should overlap each other because Phalaenopsis blooms do last for several months. So we'll just start over here. So the Phalaenopsis pretty much, they bounced through it pretty well. I mean, some of the already open blooms collapsed a little bit. So, you know, that's a little unfortunate, but the buds themselves seem to have made it through the process really well. Actually, that orange phal, I might be removing the spike. She's been in bloom for over a year now, and I kind of want her to focus maybe on roots and leaves, and she just keeps putting out more and more blooms. She is putting out roots, as you can see, but I just want to kind of reset the spike because I think that she needs to redirect. This is my oldest phal. This is the phal that I've had since 2016. It's my oldest phal in water culture. She is blooming, as you can see. Nice couple of blooms there. And nice root system. This one's spiking as well. This mini phal was in spike in the spring, and she's spiking again. My elegant Karen Aloha has decided to extend her spike, so that's good. Let me see. I'll go down here really quick. So my zygopetalums, my Paphiopedilums seem to have gone through the treatment really well. I did not unpot them. I kind of just wiped down their leaves and left it at that. I didn't see any signs of spider mites on them. And I also didn't want to unpot them because they don't really care for that. I don't really want to disturb their roots. But so far, no real bad signs from them. This fan continues to grow really well. Same thing with the other one. She's continuing to grow leaves really well. So, you know, hopefully no ill effects. The Zygo, it's a little bit different of a story. I tried to be really gentle with her and wipe her down, but I know Zygopetalums are very sensitive, but I couldn't skip her and potentially have her full of mites, and then now we have a problem again because I didn't get them. So, you know, we do have some leaf yellowing. I don't know if it's because of the treatments or if it's because, I'm sorry, you're getting really foggy here because my humidifier's on. I don't know if the yellowing is because of the treatments, because of the mites, or if it's just a natural process for this particular orchid. I know they are very fussy, so she may not have enjoyed the treatments, but unfortunately it had to be done. And if, you know, she died because of it, you know, the supplier still has these, so I would just get another one. Let's see what else. So we'll go up here. So I have several in spike up there as well. Aubrey, the one named after my niece Aubrey, is starting to pop open. The little mini phal that is in our transferring series, her spike is developing really well. This mini phal I've had for years and years and years, and she has bloomed for me twice before, but she's never gotten this big of a spike. So, and it's chunky too, like it's really thick and putting out branches, and she seems really happy. I have 3 more all the way in the back that are in spike. The one in the middle here is the pink phal that was in bloom in the spring. Again, I may be cutting her spike because it's a branch, and I don't love her root system. She seems to feel like she's fine, but I don't love it. So I might be cutting that spike. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how things go. If she continues to develop roots like she has been, you know, she is putting out some, let's see if I can focus. You can see she's putting out some new roots and some branches. If she continues to do that, then I may just leave the spike intact. But if she stops, like if those root tips go away, then I might cut the spike. So this one has an old spike that she never absorbed, and now she's getting another spike. She's gonna need to go in a bigger vase soon because she is getting very crowded in there. This one down here, this is the one named after my niece, Caitlin. She is also developing a spike right there. I moved her down here because I feel like, you know, she's kind of going towards, she was over closer to the window. So the spike was kind of headed towards the window. So I wanted to put the light above her so that maybe the spike will go up instead of out. On this shelf, there's not really a terrible amount of stuff going on. This is the shelf that I put orchids that I'm trying to encourage to do something better. They're either don't have many leaves or they don't have many roots. So that's the case with these orchids. This is actually where Caitlin was until she developed the spike. Up here I have one of my new orchids is in bloom. I mean in spike. That bud is about to open, as you can see. It's getting that look to it. And then Diane is also spiking up there. So all the phals pretty much came through the treatment really well. Also my Latourias, I was afraid that their spikes weren't going to take well to the treatments, but they all opened. So we have our Nora Takanaga is opened. We have our Royal Chip is open, and I really like this one. When I ordered it, I wasn't sure if I was gonna love the blooms because they looked kind of plain, but they get like this flush of like purpley pink on them. They're not fragrant, but you know me, I love polka dots, and they're not really terribly plain. They're really pretty, and they have that little flush to them, which I think is just really pretty. And for a first time bloom, you know, that's a decent amount of flowers on this, the Royal Chip. So I haven't had this one quite a year yet. I'm trying to think of when I got it. I think I got it late summer, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. I think it was late summer because I was thinking it was right before my cat passed away. So it was probably like end of July I got this one. My Roy Takanaga, well, there's a lot of backlighting, sorry, is also in bloom, as you can see. And it's got like a very green, a green color to the blooms. The blooms are a little more like a creamy green color than maybe the Royal Chip. Now, interestingly enough, the Royal Chip is a cross of the Roy Takanaga and Microchip, which I also have, so I'll show you that. But this one is a cross of 2 species, I believe, and one of them is the Atroviolaceum, which is my favorite, which I also have, and I'll show you. My Dendrobiums, oh, sorry about my finger. My Dendrobiums are starting to get their little nubs. And I thought that I was going to not get nubs because they were the ones that were really badly infested with the spider mites, like really badly infested. I think that they came in on this plant. And so I thought that, you know, I mean, I went crazy treating those ones specifically, but they have little nubs all over them. So it looks like they're gonna bloom. 2 of the plants that did not do well with the treatments, my Spectacebal, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but basically all 3 of her spikes just shriveled. So I only have 1 very shriveled bloom left. So it's disappointing because she bloomed so well for me. It was such a mass blooming You may have seen them in my last couple of videos, how beautiful those flowers were, but they did not take kindly to the treatments. And then my wildcat as well, you can see a lot of her blooms are starting to go over, which is sad. But again, it's necessary. Another one that's blooming for me is Mystic Maze, Gilded Tower Mystic Maze. This is one of the orchids I got from Seattle Orchids that was in really, really bad shape, terrible root system, and she's doing much better. She's gonna spike for me. And then my microchip is like, wow, going crazy with her blooms. I counted a while ago, and I think there were 13 spikes, but there are more coming, so I don't even know how many spikes she has at this point, but to say that she is happy is an understatement. I mean, she bloomed really well the last time she bloomed, and I thought she was gonna have to take a break, because I have noticed that a lot of orchids do have a tendency to take a break after a mass blooming, and the next blooming is not quite as substantial. But no, she seems like she's good to go. My Atroviolaceum is also doing a really big blooming. The last blooming, she only got like 2 or 3 spikes, and this time she's got several. She is my favorite Latouria, hands down. And I know she's probably backlit and you can't see it as well, but I mean, how could you not love that bloom? I mean, just gorgeous. And she smells heavenly. To me, she smells like vanilla chocolate. I don't know, you know, my smell receptors might be different than yours, but that's what she smells like to me. My Equestrius, my purple Equestrius is in bloom. I don't stick my nose in there because I don't care for her scent. But she's really cute. She's got the cutest little blooms, tiny little purple cuties. My Wilsonara, Eye Candy Penny Candy, the spike is still going strong, and I'm surprised because I did think, like the wildcat, this wasn't gonna take well to treatments. And she didn't miss a beat. Now this orchid to me smells like Twizzlers. Really very, very strong smell of Twizzlers. Like you walk into the room and you can kind of smell that candy, sweet candy scent. Not to ignore this beautiful baby. My Schilleriana is in spike, and she is opening her blooms, as you can see. Now, this flower is not what I thought I was getting. Now, I understand that, excuse me, different temperatures and growing conditions can affect blooms, especially on species. You can get more pink flush, you can get a more white flush depending on where you're growing and what the temperatures are. So this may not be, you know, what someone with the exact same plant might get, but I thought my blooms were going to be a little bit more pale pink instead of this bright pink. But they're beautiful. They have not developed a fragrance. I was really hoping she would, but so far nothing. But the spots on that in that throat is just so pretty. And my pendulum is still going strong. I'm really shocked. I thought because the blooms were so beautiful that this was going to be one of those dendrobiums that only keeps their blooms for like a couple of days and then they die. And doing research on the pendulum, it's really hard to keep in cultivation. So I'm really, really surprised that she's doing so well. Let me see if I can get you like a good shot. I mean, just beautiful. So, so pretty. But I do think that these are probably going to fade soon. They've been open for quite a while now. I would say at least a month, maybe a little bit longer, because I do see signs of a new growth. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's right behind this guy. See it? I see signs of a new growth right there. So I'm assuming, you know, as she's developing that, she's going to start dropping those. My Catatante in the back has 2 huge spikes developing. My other Shari baby has a spike. Oh, sorry, Schilleriana. My Saiku Marguerite finally dropped all of her. Oh, she was another one that suffered from the treatments. Her blooms did not appreciate that at all. So those huge, beautiful spikes that we had this year are gone. My 2 Nobili dendrobiums. I hope you can see this. I can't because it's very backlit, but she has little nubbins They both have little nubbins developing. I don't know yet if they're gonna be keikis or spikes, but I'm hoping they're gonna be spikes. What else? So we'll move over here. So all of my oncidiums, I took them out of their beads and put them in cups into these wooden baskets for easy transport to take them to and from the bathroom so I could treat them. I'm just gonna leave them in there for the next couple of months because again, I'm gonna be doing more treatments. So it just allows me to transport them easily. This is the Phalaenopsis that I got. That's the cross of Mani Black with Jehu's Pink Girl, right? Pink Girl, I believe. She does not have a fragrance. I'm sort of disappointed. I was really looking forward to the fragrance on this orchid, but she doesn't have one. And she hasn't opened completely, and we haven't really gotten any super sunny days because it's been snowing almost every single day. So maybe, you know, if she gets a really strong hit of sun and warmth, she might develop a slight fragrance, but right now there's nothing. There are some nubs on that Nobly up there. I don't know if I can bring you up there, but there's one or two on those. My favorite Phalaenopsis bloom, the Violacea cross. Her second spike is developing really well. This orchid, this is named after my friend's daughter, Kirsten. She is opening her blooms, really handsome, beautiful blooms there. And again, the backlight is, but that lip, that contrasting lip with those stripes is just really striking. My Twinkle is still in bloom. She held on to her blooms, and I'm kind of surprised because the Saiku Marguerite got really pissed off and dropped all of her blooms, but the Twinkle held on to hers. So I'm really surprised by that. Pleasantly surprised, but surprised. I thought that she would drop her blooms. And then we have a few more down here. This orchid, this is the purple Cattleya that was blooming several months ago. Well, she's gonna bloom again. She shot out a new growth like lickety-split so quick, and she's got 3 buds. So this is gonna be the second blooming for her this year, and I'm kind of surprised. And by year, I mean 12 months, not necessarily calendar year, because she bloomed not that long ago. And then my green bird, I dropped this orchid really badly, and a lot of her leaves snapped off, but not her bud. So that's good. So we should have a green bird bloom, at least a singular one, soon. My actual pink girl, her spike is developing really nicely back there. So we'll have some more lovely scented blooms in here soon. Whatever's going on with my Mimi Palmer is continuing to develop. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can see how it's got like that little thing coming off the side. I'm not sure if that's a spike or that's a keiki. I'm leaning towards keiki just because I think she's too small to spike, but we will see. And then I have buds developing in my H&R Mary's Glory. But I'm not holding out hope because the last new growth that she got developed buds, and then she changed her mind and decided to put out a new growth, and the buds dried up. So let's hope she doesn't do that again. All of my, well, not all of them, but quite a few of my Cattleyas need to be repotted because these cups that I was using for them are no longer sufficient. I mean, you can see the roots are everywhere. So I will have to repot them. Some of them I'm gonna wait for signs of new growths before I repot them, just because, especially the bifoliates, they're a little cranky. But yeah, so that's how the collection's doing. A lot less casualties than I thought. There are a few casualties, but you know, what are you gonna do? Now I wanna do a video on specifically, again, like I said, a spotlight on all the phals once they're in bloom, but that's probably gonna take a few months for them all to be in bloom. I also wanted to do a video, a lot of people have been asking me very similar questions. So instead of answering the same question over and over again, I'm just gonna write them down and maybe do a video on that. And then this way, they're very common questions that I have been getting throughout the years. So now instead of having to answer them, I can just refer them to that video. So I want to get that together. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can update you with, but I don't think so. So I hope you guys are all being safe. I hope that you're all enjoying your winter, and I will talk to you all next time.